Right, hey everyone. So this is going to be a detailed video on how to make the adapter for your HP OMEN diamond light. So that's the light at the front of the case. I already made my cable, so this is just going to simulate like the end of your cable for your RGB. It's going to have the same cables like white, blue, green, red. So I'm just going to kind of show you guys how to make this. So let's say you want to make this connector for your RGB harness. This is the end of the cable that's inside the case, and we're going to start from there. I'll put this kit in the description below, but it's a Dupont connector kit. So when it comes with, the wires, I bought the kit that had the wires and the connectors already, just because I know I'd be doing this a lot. So yeah, go ahead and take a look in the description below if you want this kit. And so what I'm going to do is, if you have this type of cabling, you could go ahead and pull that out. I'm actually going to make a decent sized cable, so we can make this work. So you'll need a pair of cutters and cut your cable like so. And now from here, you want to remove the cables you don't want. So I'm going to make this cable a little different just to make it easier, but just follow along and you'll be able to make your harness for your HP OMEN. So I removed this white and black, and I want red, green, and blue, right? So the only other thing I can remove is this one, which is the brown wire. So now I still have this, right? And then we need red, green, and blue. So I'll just separate these two. Red. So red is on this side. Just pull that apart. And then green and then blue. Now part of me wanted to remove all of this, but for now we're just going to set these wires aside and pull them up a little bit like so. And you could pull them all apart, but for me I'm just going to trim the ones I don't need, because it's a lot easier to work with this when you have the whole cable. And then if you want to sleeve this so it looks cleaner, you could pull it up like this and then just sleeve the parts you don't need, and then you'll have a nice looking cable. So right, we got that there. So again, this is going to be the RGB diamond light, and I cut the connector off so all the wires are exposed, and then this is going to be the start of our harness. And now that we've color coded everything, it should be a fairly simple connection to make. So we could do that on this side also, because this is where we're going to connect it to our motherboard header. So go ahead and separate the ones you need, like the white wire. We need blue, we need green, and then these just pull apart like so. Sometimes like they get really stuck, so you just take your cutter, split them right there for yourself, and pull them apart. And give yourself like half an inch to work with. If you're gonna sleeve these, it's not gonna matter, right? So, and then remove the ones you don't need. So I don't need the orange. So we don't need this one, this one, this one. All right. So let's take this cutter and then just cut all these off. And now we have both sides that we need. Okay. So to use these, there's actually a special tool you need to use to make this work. I'm going to be using a different tool. I'm just going to be using regular crimpers for this. Or like wire cutters like this one. You just need a type of tool that has this end piece right here. And you could buy the tool. I'll link it in the description below, but I've done so many of these that it's you know, it's not for me, it's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 pieces here. And for your harness, I'll put it in like a picture of it below. From the connection of your, you know, the case wires, which this is simulating, you could actually buy these quick connectors that I'm going to show you a picture of and link it down below when I edit this video. But yeah, you could just buy these quick connectors to kind of, you know, just connect them straight on this end, because this is the side that you're going to connect your motherboard. So, you know, I'll show you guys making the connection here, just in case you want to, you know, put the old connector back on or make another harness or something. But just know that you could buy this thing that I'm going to link in the description, and just show you really quick on the video to connect these wires. But let's get started. So we're just going to pull these apart. You could use your fingernails. I like to use my fingernails because it makes sure that I don't actually remove the wires, right? So give it about that length of wire. You guys can see that. And then just do that for all of them. So again, this is simulating the motherboard side, right? Or the case side. And then what you're gonna do is slightly bend this like so. I like to give a little loop for mine. If you're using the tool, you don't really need to do this, but for me, I find it a lot easier to there you go, give this little loop, and then take your crimper tool here and then just pinch it down like that. So if you have the actual tool for here, it'll be a lot easier because it'll actually, the tool will actually like grab down on the wires and you know, do the right crimp. But since I don't have that tool and I don't kind of want to spend the money on it, this is the best solution I got for this. And now you'll take this side and then just bend these flaps in to hold onto the wire. So I'm going to do that. Like that. Try to make it as small and neatly as possible. And there you go. All right. So I'm going to quickly do this for all of them, and then I'll show you how to connect the connectors. Okay, so now we have our end for the case. So we'll put the connector on. So you'll grab this one right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. This one is a 4 pin connector. So we'll just mimic the one from the 12-volt green, red, blue. So you'll just insert these. Make sure you put this face down. Like there's a little notch here. Like, I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a little notch. And then so you want that to be where the locking mechanism is. So you'll just push this in. And then you'll do the same one. Green. Red. And then blue. And then now you guys have your the connector for the case side. So now we're going to do the same thing for this side. Okay, so now you have your pins here. You'll grab the same 4 connector. It's not a 4 connector. This one right here. So you'll grab yourself a 4 connector like this, and then you'll just put it in the same way as you did the other side. So white's going to be on one side, and then this one you could actually pull instead, make it easier, and then it'll click. And you want to follow the same pattern as this one. So white's going to be on one side, green, red, blue. So we'll do green. Red, then blue. Right, we're halfway done. So now that you got this side, and this is the RGB connector right here, you can now just like line it up. So then make sure it all goes in together. So like white to white, and then oops, pulled a little too much on this one, so I'm just gonna like bend it back to shape. There you go. So careful pulling on these. It's just sometimes it'll deform, and then it'll be hard for you to get your pins in, but there you go. And then now you have your connector to the RGB. And then now we're going to work on this side. This side is going to be a little different. For here, you'd want to elongate this one a little bit. Actually, maybe remove these extra ones as well. So we'll give this a little more slack. Something like that. Get rid of the wires you don't need. Right? Now, we're going to put these 3 together. The green, red, blue, and then this is going to be your 5-volt together, and this one's going to stay by itself. And for this one, you're going to be using the female ends. Okay, so this is the end result of crimping the other side, the one that's going to go on the motherboard. So what we're going to do, see my reference really quick. For this one, you're going to use a 3-pin holder, and so you're going to put it in the green, like so. Red. And then blue configuration for this one. Just want to make sure these actually go in. There we go. So you have green, red, blue on this one header, or this one connector. And then from your parts box, you're going to take a single pin header connector and attach it here to this one. There you go. So this is our simulated to the RGB logo, connecting here to our custom harness, and it'll end up as these connectors right here. So I'll set this aside there, and then I'm going to show you guys really quick how to connect this to your motherboard. Okay, so I know this is the HP OMEN RGB connector, but I want you guys to kind of see how this is oriented. So these ones down here, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's going to be 12 volt green, red, blue, right? So you're going to connect your 3-pin connector here, and then up here, most motherboards should come with a 5 volt. This is ARGB, addressable RGB. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your single white wire 5-pin connector and put it here. So I know it's not exactly what a motherboard would look like, but the same principles apply. So basically what you're going to do is give yourself some slack here, and your 5 volt might be somewhere else, you know, so it might be on your one side of the motherboard, or you know, if you're lucky, usually some motherboard manufacturers will keep a 5 volt ARGB header next to the 12 volt. But you know, if this is somewhere else, or there's no other way for you to wire to this, you could always just pull this apart and give yourself some more slack. Or you could just get a different wire separate from this harness. So all you'll do is that you'll put it here. So like this is our motherboard header. All you're gonna do is line up the green, red, blue, connect this on one side like that. This connector is a little different, but that's okay. And then this one, you'll put it on the 5 volt like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So on your motherboard, go ahead and connect this. For some reason, this is a little thinner. These connectors are a little thin compared to the motherboard. I plug these in onto my motherboard, and it doesn't have this kind of like falling off, you know, like it's not connecting or something. But that's pretty much it. And now you have yourself a adapter harness. Okay, right. I hope this helps someone who wants to build this cable harness for their HP OMEN. And right, I'll see you guys later.